far as that specific thing goes. But like I was telling you, basically I'm depressed all the time. Been depressed for quite a long time. And in the middle of watching this Roger Morneau interview, I'm like maybe an hour and a half into it, and it's a 3 hour and 20-minute interview. And about an hour and a half or so in, I just all the weight of depression was gone, just gone, like snap your fingers, gone, and for no apparent reason, just gone, absolutely out of nowhere, left. And I mean, I wasn't like super happy or joyous, but it was just like I was normal. And for me, normal is like super happy and joyous. You know, like I was like, oh my god, I feel normal. What's going on here? It was, I don't know. It was for me, that was pretty mind-boggling. And that was the moment that I realized that this whole thing is, as people have, certain people have been trying to tell me, and that the way that I didn't want to believe, I immediately called my buddy. I have a buddy, my Christian Freemason buddy, and I called him up, immediately, and I was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And he's like, "Well, I'm working, but after I get out of work, I got nothing." I was like, "All right, well, you got a few hours free?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, we should kick it." And he's like, "All right." So I spend the next, couple hours going through my copy of Morals and Dogma and pulling out specific quotes. And so this is absolutely ridiculous, because now all of a sudden, I see this whole thing put together in the way that it makes everything make sense. And I fought this thing kicking and screaming. I didn't ever want to be doing this show tonight. I really didn't. Now that I'm doing it, it's seriously the greatest thing ever. But this is not where I ever thought that I would be. Not in the least. Not for even like a second. Weirdest thing ever. But this is where I'm at. But the whole thing, I'm over at my buddy's house, with these quotes, flipping him through Morals and Dogma. He's the guy that was, trying to bring me to Christ, and I'm sitting here, and now I'm trying to get him out of Freemasonry, and that was interesting. And I made a pretty good dent. I know that, I seriously made a pretty good dent. I saw it in his eyes, and he's not gonna go back to the lodge tomorrow and renounce his Freemasonry or anything. But I mean, this is gonna be something that takes a little bit, and that's fine. I totally accept that, and not even a big deal. I saw it in his eyes. I made a dent, and I made a hard dent. So I mean, that's superb. I'm totally satisfied with that. That was pretty cool. Now there's another part of that story with this same friend. All right, this is ridiculous. The reason that my buddy, who's a Freemason, Tom, says that he's a Christian, and to be honest, before this happened to me, I've tested his faith. Sorry, I've tested his faith. I've tested the heck out of his faith, and he got real snippy with me on a couple of occasions, and he's gonna hear this, and when he hears it, he's gonna chuckle, because I'm gonna talk to him and be like, "Oh yeah, I totally got snippy." So I mean, I really do. I mean, I've seen the passion for his devotion, and I've seen the fire in him of the spirit of the Holy Spirit. He's totally, it's weird, man. Questioned his faith, and he wasn't having it. But he's a Freemason. Go figure that out, right? I don't know, but like I said, I made a big dent, so it's on the way. I'm doing a lot of good. The irony of that was just crazy. So this guy is such a devoted Christian, because of what happened to him as a child. Now, he told me this story, and I was like, "No way! I don't believe you. This sounds like whack nut kookery." And he tells me that when he was a child, he grew up religious, and he claims that he was attacked by a demon. And the reason he claims that he was attacked, now he didn't tell me this right away, which is it made it even less believable. But like this, I found this out, and this is even more interesting. Now, the reason that he allegedly, was attacked by a demon is because his mother was a Christian, and his mother converted his father, and his father was not a member of an ordinary religion. His father was a demon worshiper. And his mother converted him to Christianity, and Tom was his mother's favorite child. So, that is his story about why, he never knew why, and I was the one actually, when I talked to him the other day, I can't believe he never really thought about it, but I mean, like, he was telling me the story in more detail again, and it just kind of, it popped into my head. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, because he was telling me, this is at the part where he was telling me about, he was attacked because his mom converted his father, and his father was a demon worshiper, and so I'm like, wait a minute. I know you have at least one brother. Do you have any other siblings? And he's like, I forgot. I think he said he had a sister too. And I was like, really? Okay. Are you your mom's favorite? And because he was like, just before that, he was like, I never really figured out why it attacked me, because it never attacked my siblings. He's like, I used to pray for, just for them to see it, so they wouldn't think I was crazy. And like then my other brother did ended up like, totally believing him, because his brother ended up seeing it, but it never actually attacked anybody for like the longest time other than him, and it never really did attack anybody else, but his brother saw it. So anyways, point being that he tells me that story. I'm like, okay, that's at first I didn't believe it at all. Now, after coming across all this new information, I'm just like, and this is never something I wanted. I'm only the only reason I'm even here is because this is where information has pointed me. Although it's just the weirdest thing. Like not that I don't want to be here, because like I said, now that I'm in this position, it's great. I haven't been depressed in like 4 days. Most amazing thing ever. And when I said, like I said, when that depression lifted and it was gone, and it hasn't returned. And when I say it hasn't returned, I mean not at all. And when it left, the day that it left, after it left, I actually prayed that day, and I've prayed every day since. And you know what I've never prayed for? I've never prayed to keep the depression away or gone. Didn't pray for it to leave. Didn't pray for it to stay gone ever. It just left and is gone. And I've prayed every day since, but I've never prayed for that. Never prayed to keep it away or anything like that. But it's just gone. That's the thing, is I know I'm never gonna have to pray for that. It's true that it's the most beautiful thing ever. It's what it is. And so then, after I hear this story from that friend, I speak to my other friend, and this other friend is somebody who. And oh, by the way, this Freemason friend of mine, who's also the Christian, he's a big researcher as well. And then my other buddy that I'm about to tell you about, he's also another big researcher, and he's also religious. And now this guy, as opposed to the previous friend, the Freemason is Protestant, and this guy that I'm about to tell you about claims he's Catholic, doesn't follow the Catholic religion directly, but because it was like a Catholic who brought him to the Christian faith, like he considered himself Catholic, whatever. Point is, he is also religious due to this religious experience that he had. And I never knew this up until the other day, and it was the same day that this feeling happened. It was the same day that I went over to my other buddy's house, and it was a Freemason. And I mean, this all happened in one day. All right, figure this out. This happens in one day. The feeling leaves, depression's gone. I'm over in the reverse position of, instead of, arguing, keep away from me with your religious quote-unquote nonsense, now I'm trying to get this guy out of Freemasonry going, look, you're a Christian, what are you doing? Like, I'm over flipping through morals and dogma quotes going, come on, man, your faith. And right after that, I see my other buddy, and, end up, cause I haven't, we haven't hung out in a while, and we usually hang out at least once every few weeks, so we had plans, and I'm talking to him, and I'm telling him about some stuff, and I'm like, dude, you're never going to believe this. This is absolutely crazy. So I tell him about that, and, so he starts telling me about this story, I didn't know about, he never told me about why he had such faith. But so he proceeds to tell me the story that, like he has, this experience and yada yada, and it's, why he has faith is 'cause he has this other experience, like kind of like I had. So then I find that out from him. Now that's two friends, right? Now I find out that there's this other friend of mine, and my other friend is a Christian, and he's not any denomination at all of Christian. He's just like Bible Christian, doesn't go to church, just reads the Bible, and he's like more of a Jesus Christian. He's also a big researcher. Now, I never even thought about this, the fact that these guys are all researchers and they're all Christians, and I just never really thought much of it, But I do have to admit, to my knowledge, the Christians are the ones who first started exposing the Illuminati and the New World Order, and I mean, this is like the whole thing came from them, as far as I know, as far as this kind of work. And so I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, but this third friend of mine, he tells me, and this is the next day. Yes, this is the day after. So then, the next day, I'm hanging out with my other buddy, big researcher, and also, like I said, Christian. We're talking, and I tell him about this stuff. He proceeds to tell me about this experience, about why he is religious, and about why two of his friends are even more, like confirmed, that hey, this is definitely correct. But the reasoning is that he tells me about this experience that he had concerning two of his friends who, they were all friends in high school. Two of them left, went out of state, went down to Florida, I believe. They were all down there, and then there ended up being a third friend who was all like part of their, clique or whatever, that ended up going down there. So then there were three of them, and then like two of them were out one night, and they ended up at a diner with this guy who was just drinking coffee and whatnot. They said this guy was sitting at the diner, and he looked like a homeless person, but he kind of stunk like a homeless person, but they said he said really wise, interesting things. He said he was a very intriguing person. So they were actually sitting there talking with this guy for, a while. They invited him back to come hang out or something, and while they were at the diner having coffee, this allegedly homeless guy pulls out a pack of cigarettes and they're Newports. And one of my buddy's friends that was in the diner that was hanging out with, this guy or whatever, just quit smoking, like previous, just like a week ago, quit smoking. He smoked Newports. This guy, this allegedly homeless guy, pulls out a pack of Newports. There's 2 Newports in the pack. He pulls one out for himself and starts smoking it, and offers the last one to my buddy's friend who just quit smoking a week ago. Not the other guy, but offers it to the guy who just quit smoking a week ago. Interesting. Now, this guy goes back to, like I said, he said very wise, intriguing, insightful things. And it attracted these 2 friends of my buddies to invite him back and come hang out. So they invite him back, they come hang out. They say that this guy, because he, is supposedly clearly homeless, they offered him to take a shower. And so he, said, yeah, I'll take a shower. Goes in, turns the water on and off a few times for a matter of over a period of 15 minutes, but doesn't actually take a shower. And, comes out and whatever. Then one of